everybody, it's The Van Show, and today we're talking to my friend, Gennifer Choldenko. Say hello, Gennifer.
Hi.
Hi. Now, Gennifer, we're going to start our show off a little differently than we usually do. I would like you to give me as much information about yourself as you can in 1 minute.
In 1 minute?
In 1 minute.
Okay.
And we'll stop you at the end of a minute.
Okay.
Try to fit it all in.
All right.
Do you think you can do that?
I love chocolate and coffee. I have a dog named Sasha. I can't go one day without writing, or I get really grouchy and my husband says, go write. Let me see. I live in Sausalito, California, and I love California. I'm a second-generation native Californian. My favorite thing to do is listen to audiobooks and go to museums and play tennis and write.
You're a writer. Were you always a writer? Were you born like writing and then you just like kept doing that, or did you have a couple careers beforehand?
Yes. Let me see. What did I do? I taught horseback riding to the blind and the deaf.
Wow.
I worked in a factory in which my job was to, you know, those little packages of ketchup and mustard. Mm-hmm. My job was I had a big box, and then you would turn it over, and then you had a mallet and you hit them, and if they squished, you would have to pick them out of the pile, and that meant that they were too close to being mushed, and then you would get a next box, and my boss would come by and go, you know, faster, because I was never fast enough with the mallet. It was really a problem.
This is a real job?
Honest to God, I swear. And so I started writing. I started writing for adults, but I found that I would fall asleep writing for adults. I just didn't care because adults are boring. Yeah. I mean, we all know that. Right. And as soon as I wrote for kids, wrote as a kid, not for kids, but as the 11-year-old that I am, then all of a sudden it was so exciting. I couldn't wait to get back to writing. So when people say they really want to write for adults, I think, oh, I don't.
And so you started writing historical fiction from a child's perspective, is that right?
Well, my first book was contemporary fiction, and it did pretty well, and so they wanted me to write more. But I had this idea about setting a book on Alcatraz, and I just, you know, when I get a new book idea, as my editor will tell you, I get possessed, and all I want to do is read and find out about that information. And so I was into Alcatraz in such a big way, I just couldn't stop myself. And luckily, they liked what I came up with.
Yeah, and I think it was fascinating. I didn't know a lot of stuff about Alcatraz, at least the stuff you write about. Like the guards would live on the island with their families. Like, that was fascinating. I had no idea. Like, how did you find that out?
I found it out from an article in the paper, because it turns out there's an Alcatraz Alumni Association, which has all the people that were in prison there, the people who grew up on the island, and the guards, and they're all one happy family. And so I found out about that association through the newspaper, and I thought, this is too weird. Yeah. So I had to check it out, and it turned out to be true. So they weren't going to sell the book on the island, but so many kids came with the book in their hand trying to find the places that they decided to sell it, and now it sells extremely well there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, which book is this that you brought with you today?
I brought Al Capone Throws Me a Curve, which is what will probably be the final book in the series, and it is perhaps the most exciting. I have a new book coming out in 2020 called Orphan 11. And it's very exciting. It's the only book that I really wish I hadn't written, because if I hadn't written it, then I could read it for the first time.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.